Urgent Kansas City Chiefs fans. Do not miss this. What just happened? You won't believe this one. But before we reveal the big news, make sure to subscribe to the channel, because here, we bring you daily videos with the latest Kansas City Chiefs updates. And to not miss anything, activate the notifications. Alright, Chiefs fans, buckle up because today, we're diving deep into some of the latest moves, rumors, and the overall vibe surrounding your beloved team as we head into a crucial part of the NFL offseason. You know, this period after the draft is always one of the most exciting times for us NFL enthusiasts, especially for fans of Kansas City. It's when we get a glimpse of what the new season might hold, who's stepping up, and who might be on their way out. And trust me, there's plenty to unpack, so stay with me because what I'm about to tell you might just change how you see the Chiefs roster for this upcoming season. First, let's talk about the draft itself. The Chiefs, as many of you already know, have been quite active in recent years, making strategic moves to build a team capable of defending their Super Bowl title. This year wasn't any different. They went into the draft with a clear plan, adding young talent, bolstering their defense, and reinforcing their offensive line. And from what we've seen so far, their draft class looks promising. The rookies have been impressing coaches during mini-camps, and that's a good sign because it means the team is thinking long-term while still trying to stay competitive in the short term. The draft picks, combined with the talent they already have, give the Chiefs a solid foundation. But, as always, adding fresh blood means some tough decisions have to be made. Roster spots are limited, and with a roster that's already packed with talented players, the coaching staff has to be ruthless when trimming down the roster. That's something we saw happen recently, an example that's been making headlines. The Chiefs released veteran cornerback Robert Rochell, a move that surprised some, but makes total sense when you look at the bigger picture. Now, Rochell's story is interesting. He's only 27 years old, and he was originally drafted in the 4th round by the Los Angeles Rams back in 2021. He's had a bit of a journeyman's path, spending time with the Rams and then moving to the Green Bay Packers, where he played sparingly over the last 2 seasons. His stats aren't eye-popping. He ranked 123rd out of 222 cornerbacks in 2024 according to Pro Football Focus, which isn't exactly stellar. Most of his contributions have been on special teams rather than as a full-time starter in the secondary. So, when the Chiefs signed him in late March, it was seen as a low-risk move, potentially a depth piece, someone who could compete for a spot during training camp and preseason. But here's the reality, given the depth the Chiefs already have at cornerback, especially with young players like Noel Williams, who's been impressing everyone during minicamp, Rochell's chances of making the final roster were slim from the start. The team has invested heavily in their secondary over the past couple of drafts, bringing in several promising young talents with high upside. It's a smart move. Why keep a veteran around if he's not fitting into the long-term plans? It's all about building a roster that's versatile, hungry, and ready to compete at the highest level. Pause here, just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Kansas City Chiefs news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the big reveal. Now, let's zoom out a bit and look at what this roster move says about where the Chiefs are headed. The NFL offseason, especially after the draft, is like a giant chess game. Teams are trying to figure out how to maximize their rosters, fill gaps, and stay competitive without overextending financially or risking chemistry issues. For Kansas City, the message is pretty clear. They're focused on building depth, especially on defense, and giving their young players a real shot to prove themselves. You know, the Chiefs' secondary has been one of their strengths over the past few seasons, but it's also one of the areas where they're trying to inject some youth and fresh energy. Players like Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, and Jalen Watson have already established themselves as reliable starters. The coaching staff is clearly high on the potential of younger guys like Noel Williams, who was a late-round pick but has been turning heads with his quickness, instincts, and ball skills. It's exciting because it means the Chiefs are investing in the future while still maintaining a competitive edge for this season. And speaking of this season, expectations are sky high. The Chiefs are coming off a Super Bowl appearance, and with Patrick Mahomes leading the charge, there's always that championship window wide open. But the NFL is a brutal league. Injuries, unexpected breakout players, and roster moves can change the landscape overnight. The Chiefs are aware of this, which is why they're so meticulous in their roster management. Another aspect worth mentioning is how the team's front office and coaching staff are balancing the veteran presence with the youth movement. They want players who understand the culture, who can step up in critical moments, but also those who have the potential to develop into long-term starters. Rochelle's release is just one example of that process in action. It's a sign that the team is constantly evaluating, adjusting, and ready to make tough calls if it means getting better. This season, all eyes will be on the young defensive backs, especially as they go through training camp and preseason. The coaching staff has shown a willingness to give opportunities to rookies and second-year players, which is promising. It's all about finding that perfect mix of experience and youth, and also making sure everyone is aligned with the team's championship goals. The Chiefs have built a winning culture under Andy Reid, and they're determined to keep that momentum going. Now, let's not forget about the other side of the ball, the offense. Mahomes, of course, is still at the peak of his powers. His connection with Travis Kelce remains one of the most lethal duos in NFL history. But even with that, the team is always looking to improve their offensive line, add depth at wide receiver, and find ways to keep defenses guessing. They've done a good job of this in recent drafts and free agency, bringing in players with high upside that can grow into key roles. And then there's the question of how the Chiefs' defense will perform this year. They've made some strategic moves in the secondary, but the true test will come during the season. Can the young defensive backs step up and handle the pressure? Can the pass rush get back to its previous dominant form? These are the questions that fans are eagerly awaiting answers to. The team has shown resilience and adaptability in the past, so there's reason to believe they'll continue to be a formidable force. Looking at the bigger picture, the Chiefs are in a unique position in the NFL landscape. They've established themselves as a dynasty contender, thanks to Reid and Mahomes, but they're also aware that sustaining success means constantly evolving. The roster moves, like the release of Rochelle, might seem small in the grand scheme, but they're part of a much larger puzzle, one that involves talent development, cap management, and strategic planning. The team's front office has been praised for its smart, disciplined approach, and that's why fans can remain optimistic about what's to come. As we approach training camp, all eyes will be on who makes the final roster, who shines in preseason, and how the team integrates new players into their system. The excitement is palpable, and every move, every cut, is analyzed with the kind of passion only Chiefs fans can understand. The hope is that this roster, young and hungry, is enough to push them back to the Super Bowl, because with Mahomes at the helm and a coaching staff that knows how to get the best out of their players, the sky's the limit. And now, Kansas City Chiefs fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this roster move? Do you think Rochelle could have had a shot if things had gone differently? Or are you confident that the team's focus on youth and talent development will pay off? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Kansas City Chiefs. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Kansas City Chiefs news. Thanks for sticking with me, and as always, go Chiefs!